Hello guys, and welcome to a new video where I'm gonna let you know how I quit my job a month ago, moved to a remote island and tried alternative living. I basically just moved into this beautiful cave here yesterday. So yeah, I feel like an update is way overdue because a lot has changed. My life has changed completely in the last month or so. And therefore the videos, the content will change as well. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened, what is happening now, and what are the future plans. So I guess this story kind of goes way back, but I don't want to bore you with unimportant details. Those who have been following this channel for a while, well, at least for a year, know that last year I had a severe burnout. I then started working again after like 6 months of recovery. Even before that, like a few years ago, let's say 2-3 years ago, I started really noticing that basically I just don't want to work anymore. No, not that I don't want to work. I don't want to have a job, not in a conventional meaning of the words. I tried so many different things, believe me, and nothing quite worked out. Every time I got a job, it really restrained me from what I actually really wanted to do, which is to create things, to write, to do these videos, to draw, to dance, to sing, to just enjoy fucking life. Like I never had energy to really live the way I wanted to live. And even though there were many perks of my job, I was a digital nomad, I was working remotely, and I could work from anywhere. That just actually made me even more exhausted. Yeah, I started dreaming of how life would be if I didn't have to wake up and spend 8 hours doing something I don't want to do, even for a lot of money. Like, it didn't matter. Like, my last job was paying me 3 times more than the one previous, and it didn't matter. I felt like my creativity, my soul was dying. It was like I was not living my purpose. I was not using my potential. So why am I here then? Like I'm not the kind of person that would just work for money. So yeah, I started dreaming like how would it look like to not have a job? And it seems very utopic, right? It seems like, oh, then you should be rich or something, or have like shit tons of savings somewhere, or rich parents, or I don't know, like someone to take care of you. But actually, while traveling, I met so many cool people who have been traveling for years and didn't have a job. So I was like, well, if other people can do it, so can I. Yeah, it's nice to have a security blanket, but I kind of came to a conclusion. I'd rather be a bum, I'd rather be a starving artist than work another job where profit and capital are the only metrics that matter. And so I knew. So last fall, I decided I'm going to quit my job. I gave myself a few more months to save a little bit more money. And in January 15 this year was my last work day. And so now I have been on Canary Islands for 1 month already, and it's been freaking amazing. There's a couple of reasons why I came to Canary Islands. First of all, I have been in a few different islands. I've been to Tenerife, Lanzarote, Fuerteventura. I heard a lot about La Palma, but have never been here before. And it seemed like an interesting place for trying out alternative, unconventional lifestyles, because I heard a lot about the nature and just the terrain, the geology here. I mean, just look at this lushness. This is my view, by the way, when I wake up. That's the ocean. Yeah, not too shabby, right? So first of all, what I wanted is to get away from winter. in Europe, Central Europe, where I come from, Slovenia. It's pretty cold. It's snowy, foggy, it's dark. It's just not a nice place to be, especially when you have seasonal affective disorder. So I wanted to get out of there. Second of all, I really wanted to be in nature, like pretty much 24/7, which I am because I live outside. Before I was sleeping in a yurt for a month, which also feels like basically you're outside. You don't have electricity, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have heating, you're very exposed to natural elements. And with that comes that, yeah, I wanted to see like these eco-sustainable alternative projects here on Canary Islands, and there's so many people live in caves. As I said, this is my cave. People basically live outside. They work with natural materials a lot, repurposed, reclaimed materials, recycled materials. A lot of it is like agriculture and planting, permaculture, things like that. So I basically wanted to be involved in projects where I could learn useful skills for my future projects. So the ones that I would be creating. So that was one thing. And then on top of that, I thought, okay, how to travel or live abroad somewhere warm but not spend a lot of money. Well, volunteering, work away is a perfect solution. I've done it before and it was an amazing experience both times. So that was it. I was like, okay, let's go to Canary Islands, try La Palma, because my intuition was saying, let's try this new island. And let's find a workaway projects here. So that's what I did. And this is my second workaway project here that just started yesterday. I have very high hopes because the place looks amazing. If I haven't yet showed you the place, it just means it's coming after this video. So like I said, it's not just about escaping winter. It's not just about traveling. It's not just about traveling cheap, volunteering, but also thinking about my future, how I want to go forward from here, how I want to create my life. If you watched my series from Bulgaria, and if you haven't, do that because there's some amazing videos there. Basically, my plan is to find a place, possibly in Bulgaria, a property, a little farm, and turn it into this like artist retreat kind of thing with a lot of the concepts and ideas that I use here. So I want to see how other people are doing projects like this so I can pick their brains, so I can get some ideas, so I know like how to properly set up volunteering, like what are things that I like, what are things I don't like. I want to be a good host, how to set up a place, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've already learned so much from Jan, where I stayed before. He has been doing this for 10 years. And now I'm in a new place and it's going to be new ideas. The current state of affairs. Yeah, my life has changed drastically. I went from living with my parents in my little cozy room, having all the luxuries, all the comfort that you can imagine in a modern world, in a modern society, from working behind a laptop for 8 hours a day, 40 plus hours a week, spending very little time outside because it's cold, it's dark, it's rainy, it's just not so pleasant. And yeah, just feeling very exhausted, drained, unmotivated, uncreative most of the time because the work just took all the energy and it didn't really provide much value. Like I felt this cannot be it. Like I cannot be 15 years into my career and then producing content with ChatGPT and just working on quantity but not quality. So I went from that to basically living outside, like I said, on this beautiful island, to living in a yurt, now living in a cave. So you literally, you do everything outside here. There's basically, we don't have, the kitchen is inside, okay, but everything else is like, we're just outside in nature all day, working with your hands, working with soil, planting, weeding, building things with natural materials. You wake up with the sun, you go sleep when it goes dark and a little bit colder. The nights do get chilly a little bit here. But the nature is just simply, it's crazy. Like the first few days when I was here, I saw so many rainbows. I probably haven't seen that many rainbows in 10 years together than I've seen in 2-3 days. You can always see the sea because the island is so steep everywhere that literally anywhere you go, you're gonna see the sea. So you have the ocean here at your doorstep. The climate is like subtropical, mild. We still get some rain and wind here during winter, but not that much. For me, the most important thing is just to have sun. Like, it feels so good just to feel it on my face and get that vitamin D. I think it makes a lot of difference to my mental health and my physical health. So that has been super, super beneficial. The living is very, very rustic. Yeah, in the previous place, we didn't have electricity. We only had 2 solar panels to charge our phones. We slept in a yurt. The toilet is a compost toilet. The shower is only heated outside, where you see the black tubes. So as much as the sun heats the tube, then the water is warm. If there's no sun, the water is going to be cold. Here I even have an outdoor shower, which is really great. So on a really hot day, I'm going to have a shower with this view. Yeah, the resources on the island are quite scarce. Like, there's a lot that you cannot get and a lot that you have to either wait for a long time. Shippings, yeah, a lot of stuff doesn't come here. So you just work with what you have. And so then a lot of people just use whatever is on their property, create clay from soil, create cob to build buildings, use all of these natural caves that are here, use the wood, use everything pretty much that people throw away. A lot of it is built like with pallets and stuff, which I think hipsters will know a lot about. But yeah, they use everything in very creative ways to build pretty much everything from living spaces to tools to, yeah, everything. Not much is bought new, which I really like. I really like this concept also with like Japanese. They maintain things very well, preserve them really nicely so that they last longer. Like, why throw away something that is still good, Why waste money on new stuff when you can fix the old or repurpose it in some way? No Wi-Fi, no heating, no, nothing like that. So it's very, very rustic here in the true meaning of the word. A little bit hippie, a lot of people would say, but I don't know, it's just living with nature. It's just living a more natural, sustainable life, I guess, It's just how it should be, how it used to be. So, yeah, we don't really realize how luxuriously we live, especially in like Central and Western Europe. Once you go more east, yeah, when I was in Bulgaria, you can already see a lot of the differences. There's a lot of the comforts that they don't have that we have. And here there are far, far less, but you get used to it so quickly. Yeah, it's just a slower pace. It's just more in tune with nature, with natural cycles, sun, moon, yeah, the weather conditions as well. When it's rainy, there's not much that you can do outside, so you just have a chill day with a book. What I really like it because of the conditions here is that the communities are quite tight. They really collaborate together. They kind of have to help each other to just make it easier for everyone to live. And so you have a lot of like community events, you have like a lot of like these cooperatives, and yeah, a lot of systems put in place to just make it a little bit easier to like exchange things, to buy natural stuff. Basically, you have to just be resourceful. That's it. And that's what I try to be in my day-to-day life even before this. So now I'm just like learning even more and deeper about how to do it. Here, slow living is not just a trend, it's not just a hashtag. This is like actually how it is. Pretty much people would work like 3, 4, max 5 hours per day. And then there's, you know, siestas, there's slow mornings, drinking coffee in the sun, meditating, doing yoga. Yeah, and then there's evenings where, again, you can't really do much outside. You don't have much artificial light. It's getting colder. So, again, it's just relaxation, reading a book. I edit my videos. Things like that. Chit chat with people, hang out, you know, have a nice bonfire. So very, very relaxed, very tranquilo. Okay, one from the inside of my cave is actually not that dark as I thought it's gonna be. But yeah, this is my little nook. Yeah, so the work I already said a little bit. I mostly did gardening, weeding, planting things, planting potatoes, planting leeks, radishes, beans, what else? Brussels sprouts, I think, something like that. Yeah, lots of different things. So I learned a lot there, how to just plant things, how to make stuff grow, putting my hands in the soil, in the compost, and just, yeah, feeling it. We were just also tidying up, taking care of the kitchen, cooking. We built a staircase, sewing, like everything, like just maintaining the place. So you just go around, you see something needs to be done, and you do it basically. So I really like that concept. Yeah, the previous place was like, there's no boss. If you see a job, it's yours. So I really, really like that. And then the island itself. Oh my God. Like I knew it was nice, but I didn't know it was this nice. Especially this part because we are in the like northeast of the island. It is super, super quiet. Like literally last night when I was sleeping in a cave for the first time, I couldn't hear anything. Like there was nothing. There was no nature sounds. There was not even a breeze, wind, like nothing. There was no sounds. It was so bizarre. But the thing about this island is, yeah, this part is super quiet. It's not like going down to the west coast or like south. There is no big resorts, there's nothing. It's just a lot of agricultural land, so you have a lot of this kind of projects here and a lot of green, a little bit more rain. The higher you go, the colder it gets, and it gets cold up there. It's very steep, the terrain, and when you are driving, it's just a lot of like turns and ups and downs, and the climate can change. Basically, you go to barrancos that way and the weather can be different, or even on the other side of the barranco it can be super windy, and on this not. So it really depends. So if you're staying in a place like I was staying a few hundred meters down, and here it's a different climate, it's much warmer, it's less wind. So I was so happy last night when I went to sleep and I was like, oh my God, this actually is warm. I'm not going to be cold anymore. Yes. But it is a very diverse island. You have the beaches, you have the beautiful mountains, the pine forests, pretty much everything, the cliffs, the plantations, which I don't really love, but okay. Another thing is that I really love, the stars here are just phenomenal. There is no air traffic or any air pollution here because they have a huge observatory on top of the mountain, which makes it even more quiet. Like literally the only thing you can hear is traffic, some cars, some motorcycles. You don't even see any ships That's how quiet it is. That's how remote this is, which I love. It's a very good experiment for my future living conditions. Basically, this whole thing is a huge experiment and a huge learning curve for me for what I want to build in the near future. So far, I have already learned a lot of useful skills, not just gardening and building, which gave me a lot of confidence. Like, you cannot imagine going from sitting behind a laptop for your entire career for like 15 years to like sewing and hammering stuff. Just feels very empowering and gives me a lot of confidence that, okay, I can renovate a place. Sure, I mean, I'm gonna have other people helping me, but you know, I know how to do stuff. I have a um I have a blister to prove it that I actually did some work. Yeah, but it wasn't just that. It was also like building a community, running a place with volunteers, like how to communicate, how to structure things, how to organize things, like what is the strategy, like how do you build up a place in like different stages so it can be used before it's finished, like how do you resource stuff, how do you finance stuff, like all that kind of things that are going to be super important when I'm going to be creating my project. Like, I've already learned so much in a month, and I think I'm going to be staying, well, at least for another month or so, or maybe more. It depends on the weather in Europe. If it's cold, I'm just going to be like, fuck this, I'm just going to enjoy my weather here. So then, yeah, what is the future plan? I think, yeah, after La Palma, I don't know, I might go to a different island in the Canaries. I don't know yet. Or I might fly straight back to Europe from here. But a rough idea of how things would play out is I would go probably to Germany, try to buy a car, like a kind of like a terrain, 4-wheel, something big enough for me to put a mattress in the back and like have a place to sleep, but just for like plan B kind of situations. I do want to then drive from Germany down the Balkans and go to Bulgaria and do some volunteering there. So see how they are doing these kind of projects in the country where I actually want to do them. Duh. And whilst I'm volunteering and gaining all these valuable skills, I will also be continuing my search for finding the perfect property. So yeah, that's basically it. So when I get my property, ideally it would be a place where at least one room I could sleep in, otherwise I'm gonna have to sleep in my car. We're gonna manage. Like, honestly, I can sleep in a tent, I can sleep in a cave, I can sleep outside, I can sleep in a hammock. We're gonna figure it out. I just really want to buy a place and start creating this dream project, basically. I think that's all. If there's more you want to know about these projects that I'm doing here, the Workaway, the island of La Palma, or my ideas for my future project, you know what to do. Hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. I hope this was like interesting, that you got some insight into like where this channel is gonna go now, because I think it's gonna change a little bit from just like vlogging, travel vlogging, to more like actual what I was thinking to start with, like more unconventional living, unconventional projects, unconventional, and you know, creating your own rules, living your own life however you want to live it. Don't conform to any standards or the norm or whatever if it doesn't make you happy. Like, yeah, I knew that was not for me for a very long time. That's why I was traveling so much. But now it's like, okay, I actually want to settle, so let's see how that goes. My savings, we'll see how long they last. Yeah, sign up so I can start making some money from these videos. Thank you guys. I hope everyone is well. I'm sending you regards from beautiful La Palma. Bye bye.